So this is the normal lateralis view. This is zygomatic arch, and this area is a temporal fossa. So temporal fossa will give origin to the temporalis muscle we already discussed. The temporalis muscle arises from the inferior temporal line and from the floor of the temporal fossa as a broad fan-shaped muscle, and the muscle fibers converge and passes deep to the zygomatic arch, and it will get inserted into the coronoid process of the mandible and the ramus of the mandible and the anterior border. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to cut the zygomatic arch, and we are going to remove the mandible, and we are going to cut the ramus of the mandible along with the coronoid process, so that we can see the other muscles which are located in the infratemporal fossa. So the mandible has been removed. So this is the head of the mandible, and this is the neck of the mandible, and the ramus of the mandible, angle of the mandible, and part of the ramus has been cut and then reflected. Okay, now we are going to see the origin and insertion of the lateral pterygoid muscle. Lateral pterygoid muscle arises as two heads, as we have already discussed. The upper head arises from the infratemporal crest of the greater wing of the sphenoid. So this is the upper head of the lateral pterygoid muscle. The lower head arises from the lateral surface of the lateral pterygoid plate. So upper head and then lower head. So this is the upper head of the lateral pterygoid. This is the lower head of the lateral pterygoid. Both the head will join together and forms a common tendon. That common tendon will come and get inserted into the neck of the mandible. There is a depression in the neck of the mandible. That depression is called as a pterygoid fovea. So pterygoid fovea is located in the neck of the mandible, where the tendon of the lateral pterygoid muscle is inserted. Okay, so the actions of the lateral pterygoid already we have discussed in the video. One important point about the lateral pterygoid muscle is this lateral pterygoid muscle is the key muscle of the infratemporal fossa. Why it is called as key muscle? Because all the important nerves and vessels of the infratemporal fossa are located deep to the lateral pterygoid muscle. Okay, so another important point about this lateral pterygoid muscle is the lower limb. We have discussed about the soleus muscle. Yeah, so that soleus muscle is having a venous sinuses within that, so it is also called as a peripheral heart because of pumping the venous blood. Like the same thing, this lateral pterygoid muscle will also be surrounded by a plexus known as the pterygoid venous plexus. So when this muscle contracts, it helps in pumping the blood. So lateral pterygoid muscle is also called as the peripheral heart. So main peripheral heart of the body is the soleus muscle. Apart from that, is there any other structure? Means it is a lateral pterygoid muscle. Okay. Now what we are going to see is we are going to discuss about the next muscle, that is the medial pterygoid muscle. So what is the origin and insertion of the medial pterygoid muscle? Again, we will draw the mandible, that is the head of the mandible is here, the neck of the mandible, and the ramus is partly cut, and the angle of the mandible is here. Okay, fine. So what is the origin and insertion of the medial pterygoid muscle? Medial pterygoid muscle also arises as two heads. One is a superficial head that is arises from the maxillary tuberosity. Superficial head will be arising from the maxillary tuberosity, and the deep head arises from the inner surface of the lateral pterygoid. That is the medial surface of the lateral pterygoid muscle. That is, it will be attached in the inner surface of the lateral pterygoid muscle. Okay, and then the fibers will come downwards and they are inserted into the ramus of the mandible and the angle of the mandible in the inner surface. Okay, so this is the course of the medial pterygoid muscle. So superficial head arises from the maxillary tuberosity and part of the palatine bone. The deep head arises from the medial surface of the lateral pterygoid plate and then passes downwards, and it is inserted into the ramus of the mandible in the medial surface. Okay, and the actions, everything we have discussed in the video. So the important muscles in the infratemporal fossa are, one is the temporalis, the lateral pterygoid, and the medial pterygoid muscle. Okay, is that clear? Origin and insertion of the muscle? Yes. Next we are going to see the other contents of the infratemporal fossa. So here we can see the schematic picture of the muscles of the infratemporal fossa. You can see the upper head of the lateral pterygoid muscle here. This is the upper head and this is the lower head. Okay, this is the upper head and this is the lower head of the lateral pterygoid. Here is the pterygoid fovea. Then you can see the medial pterygoid muscle after the ramus has been removed. Okay, and this is the lateral view, and here you can see the posterior view where you can see the medial pterygoid muscle arising on the inner surface of the lateral pterygoid plate. And here you can see that lateral pterygoid muscle, it is almost horizontal in arrangement. Okay, so lateral pterygoid muscle helps in opening of the mouth, so it is also called as a muscle of yawning, and it also helps in the depression of the mandible. So with this we are finishing the muscles of infratemporal fossa. Next we will see the nerves and vessels. Thank you.